Hello and welcome back to the podcast. It's great that you've joined us today, whether it be on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music. We are so pleased that you're here with us, and I am of course here with Pattie. Pattie, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Matt.
Very good, and I believe your book is now finally out?
Finally, it's really exciting. It looks magnificent. I'm really pleased. It's called My Life in Pictures, and basically it starts off with my modelling career right from the beginning. So the clothes are rather sort of iffy, and they can only get better and better and better as the book goes on. Anyway, it's packed with wonderful fashion photographs and, my life as well. And it's great. I really love it. I'm very, very pleased.
Excellent. If you want to get your hands on the book, you can go to pattieboyd.co.uk and there's a link there through to where you can buy that. But shall we jump into the episode? Who's our guest today?
Today we have the most wonderful guy, John Lodge from the Moody Blues. I've known John for quite a while and absolutely adore him.
And this was the first cocktail that we've had, which was completely made up, wasn't it? It was his own concoction.
And of course, guess what? It had to be blue.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is Cocktails with Pattie and John Lodge.
John?
Yes.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Do you know, it's a very, very silly thing, but I can't remember when I first met you. I feel I've known you forever.
Yes, forever.
Forever. But we must have met at some point.
Yeah.
Not in our childhood, certainly.
Not in our
Because
childhood.
you grew up in
Birmingham, England.
That's why I love your accent.
Motor City, Birmingham. Yeah, and born in a little estate, council estate in Birmingham. Went to, obviously, a secondary modern school, infant school. I think I went there when I was 4. And, but I managed to take 11 plus when I was 10 years of age. And I didn't know what 11 plus was for. But a grammar school, I had no idea what a grammar school was. And I remember going to King Edward's Grammar School in Birmingham to take the exam. I must have taken 3 buses to get there.
All on your own?
Yeah, well, I was 10 years of age, yeah. And I remember walking into the hallowed hall and it was like walking into Hogwarts, Harry Potter now. I remember walking into this room. I'd never seen a school like it. My school was a prefabricated school built during the war, I think, for war children and everything else. And I was sitting at a desk with an inkwell and a pen, ink pen, and looking at the desk was all these names engraved on it for people, students who'd been there for hundreds of years. And I was looking at all these paintings on the walls in this room. I couldn't get to grasp it at all. And suddenly the master comes in, a black cloak and the waterboard, and said, good morning to everyone. And I looked up and he said, he passed the exam papers around and he's basically start. And I'm looking at the exam paper and I'm trying to take all of this in. It was amazing. I come from a council house and this building with all woodwork and paintings and oil paintings and history.
Did you like it?
I couldn't believe it.
Were you frightened by it? Or
no, I was in awe. I think this is another world I don't know about.
Yes.
And so I took the exam, didn't think anything about it. And I was going to Saturday morning pictures I think we all did it at the time. You go and see Roy Rogers or what at the local cinema, and I remember standing in the queue with my friends, and somebody said, "John, there's your dad on a bike." And look, and my father was cycling towards the queue. I'd never seen him on a bicycle before. It must be my sister's, I suppose. And he's got this piece of paper waving, and he pulled out. He said, "You passed." I said, "What for?" "Grammar school." And he had the envelope, and it was an amazing feeling. And for me, being from a council house, council estate, was one of the turning points of my life, because I met so many people, all my age, from all walks of life, all walks. When I was in the council, I only met the same people as me.
Yeah.
Their dads were at work or on strike or not at work, you know. But at grammar school, I met all these people from different walks of life, and so I went to Central Grammar School in Birmingham, and I loved it. I took my O levels when I was 15 because my birthday is late July, and I loved it.
Did you realise that music would become your passion later on?
It was while I was at
The grammar school?
grammar school. There was a coffee bar up the road from the school. Every lunchtime, it was called Eddie's Cafe. And every lunchtime I would go there when I was 13, take my coin, drop it in the slot on this Bellamy jukebox, and listen to the latest records of Fats Domino, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, Gene Vincent. And I was overwhelmed by rock and roll. I really was. It was, and I thought, I've got to be part of this. I had no musical inclination at all until I was about 12 to 13.
All right,
None
was there
whatsoever.
music played at home?
No.
No music at home?
No.
So when you heard these first records on the jukebox, was this the first time you
Well-
became aware of music and rock and roll?
Rock and roll and the Clock was my first. I went to see Rock and Roll and the Clock, and Bill Haley and everyone else who was in that movie. And there was an excitement I hadn't felt before. And I didn't know I was going to be part of it. It was an excitement I felt. And then a neighbour of ours in where I grew up, her son was in the armed forces because it was conscription then for a lot of young people, and he'd just come back from Germany with a guitar, and his mother said to my mother, "Would your young Johnny like to buy this guitar?" And I think it was like £2, 10 shillings or something. Nothing, no money.
Yeah.
And my mum bought it for me, and then I spent the next 3 months or whatever in my bedroom trying to work out how this guitar worked. And as I say, at the same time, I was going to the coffee bar, listening to all these rock and roll records. And then I thought, how can I be part of this? Because it's so alien, I thought, to me and English people. All the rock and roll heroes then, like Billy Fury and Cliff Richard, and they're all Tommy Steele, they're all icons. Mm-hmm. But we're really following American trends. Then I heard That'll Be the Day by Buddy Holly.
Oh, loved it.
And I fell in love with it, and I bought that record. It took me 3 months to get the record. And I've still got the record. I've got a Wurlitzer jukebox in my drawing room here, and that was the day that 78 is still on the jukebox, and he plays still plays today. And I started to learn Buddy Holly's songs, and I was privileged when Buddy Holly came to on tour in England. My then sister's boyfriend bought me a front row ticket in the Circle, and I was about 13, and I saw Buddy Holly live, and I thought that was it. I know how to do it now, because there was this guy in a black suit, Dickie Bow, playing a Fender Stratocaster guitar. I thought, that's what I want. I can do this. Write your own songs. And I started working really more on the guitar. But I still went back to the jukebox, and the left-hand side of the piano was driving me mad with all the boogie stuff. And so I learned to play all the boogie parts on the guitar. And there were no bass guitars in Birmingham at the time at all. So I started playing boogie on the guitar, bottom 4 strings of the guitar. And then I formed a band with Ray Thomas from Moody's. And when I was 15, I met Ray when I was 15. And I started playing all these boogie parts.
And did you name the band the Moody Blues then?
No, the band was Al Riot and the Rebels.
Al Riot.
That time, everybody dressed up. Johnny Kidd and the Pirates. He came out as a pirate, and the band, and there's Lord Rockington, dressed like a king and everything else, and everybody dressed up. So we thought Al Riot and the Rebels, and we had Mexican outfits, even sombreros, can you believe? Every Saturday morning, all musicians normally go to the music store where there are all guitars on, and everybody's shown, I've learned this week, whatever. Yeah. I went there every Saturday, and just prior to that, I went to see Jerry Lee Lewis on tour, and there was a guy at the back playing, looked like a Stratocaster guitar, like Buddy Holly's. But I realised he'd only had 4 strings, and I realised he was a bass player.
Right.
No double bass, electric bass. And I thought, that's what I want. I want one of those.
Okay.
And I went to my music store one Saturday morning, Jack Woodruff's in Birmingham. And there it was, in the front, in the window, it said, direct from the USA, 3-color Fender Precision bass. It was like, wow. It was my Damascus moment. And I rushed down to my father and said, Dad, you've got to help me, come on. And he did. We went back up, and he signed the papers, and they bought that guitar in 1960. And it's the bass guitar I've recorded nearly every Moody Blue song and my song, and I still use it today for recording.
Wow.
It's absolutely beautiful guitar. When I pick it up and start playing it, it seems to play on its own.
Oh, John.
It's amazing. And it's really, what's really amazing, I can still smell the smell of the guitar from the day I bought it. It's pick the guitar, and it's something magic. And I said, come on, play me something. And he seems to do.
Fabulous. What a story.
Yeah, so that was it, really. That's how we came to play bass guitar. And then I started to write. The band I had at Ray lasted like 4 years. So Ray said to me one day, we're going to form a super group and go down to London and record. Ray was a couple of years older than me, and Mike was, and Graham. And I said, well, I'm still at college. I was studying engineering. I want to finish college as well. So I said, I can't come with you, So they went down to London, and I really still supported them because they're friends.
Yeah.
And they recorded Go Now, which was obviously a massive hit. And
Massive hit. It was
yeah.
wonderful.
And a brilliant Bessie Banks song,
Yes.
which is
I heard
beautiful.
the original.
Yeah, beautiful. And one of my favourite records at the time, obviously because they were friends as well, you know. But about a year later, Ray rang me up and said, he always called me Rocker. Hey, Rocker, he said, have you finished college yet? I said, I've just finished. He said, well, get down to London, we need you. And I went down to London and stayed with Mike for a while. And then I met Justin. They said, we've got a guy called Justin Hayward. So I met Justin. That was June, I think, 66. And that was it, really. Formed the band there and then, the new Moody Blues. And we went into the studio. We went to a little village in Belgium called Mucron. And we stayed at a bed and breakfast. And we started rehearsing there and writing our own songs. It was great, actually. Great little story. We were rehearsing there, and we got a call from Colin Berlin. Colin Berlin was Tom Jones' agent. Mm-hmm. Tom had the record It's Not Unusual. Mm-hmm. And he was starring in the Olympia at Paris. When they got there, they realised it was only Tom Jones, and Tom didn't know 2 hours of music. And so Colin rang us up in Belgium. I don't know how he got our number, and said, boys, how many songs have you learned? We said, well, 20 minutes. He said, well, get to the Paris Olympia quick. You second on the bill to Tom Jones.
No.
Yeah. So we went to the Paris Olympia, and Colin said, what we going, Tom Jones's band is called the Squires. We're going to get them some different clothes, and I think he said wigs, I'm not too sure now. But we're going to put them on as the opening act, as a French band. So the compere will come on, they'll do the first act, compere will come back on, introduce you, you finish the first half, then the Squires will come on as the Squires, and then Tom will come on afterwards. And that was our first baptism of fire, really. Yeah. And the Paris Olympia is one of the greatest venues in Europe to play. And the photographs are great. And he was
John, right up to the top.
Yes,
almost
right.
at the beginning.
Yeah, and he was amazing. And then Colin Berlin said, boys, you've got to come back to England. And so we came back to England and started doing gigs around England, and then we recorded Days of Future Past.
Fabulous.
And then that became a hit in England and in America. And 3 months later went into the studio and recorded another album called In Search of the Lost Chord, and that became a big hit in America. And
but John, you didn't, it sounds to me as if you didn't really do what a lot of new bands do, up and down the M1, playing all these little clubs, etc. You didn't do that?
No.
You didn't tread the boards like everyone else,
No,
John?
It's really strange. Well, I think we did it when I was like 15 to 21.
Yeah.
With El Rise and the Rebels. We were travelling all over, playing with Johnny Kidd and the Pirates and people like that. The Brooks Brothers, if you remember those. And we did a lot of that then, and I decided I didn't want to do it that after. I wanted to record.
Yes.
Write and record and play our own music. And it seemed to work, and we got a call from, I think it was CMA in America, and that was, we recorded Days of Future Past in like the October, I think, 67, in October '68, we're touring America.
How
It was
fabulous.
amazing.
How
And
fabulous.
we went straight to the Fillmore East in New York, one of their first
Yes.
concerts. Fillmore West in Los Angeles, and the Shrine Auditorium. And we seem to miss out on all the Roxys, the Troubadours. We missed out on playing any of those.
Isn't that
It's
interesting?
really strange.
Thinking of the name, the Moody Blues, I couldn't help but notice your cocktail of choice has got blue in it, John.
Yeah, I thought we'd experiment it with a blue curacao
Yeah.
and some Kettle One vodka, and I've mixed up some fresh blueberry.
Very moody.
Yeah,
Very moody,
And
Dad.
if it tastes nice,
I know
it'd be
blueberries
great.
are meant to be good for us.
Yes.
Anyway,
I put ice in,
Yes.
shaken not stirred. So.
love that sound.
I'm going to do 2 vodkas,
Yeah.
1 curacao.
I wonder how they get it that incredible blue.
Yeah. You can use this in the winter to stop your car freezing over. Sorry.
Is that what you tell Kirsten?
So, and what you do now is sour mix
Right.
in there, half the amount of the curacao,
Okay.
right? And you can buy this sour mix, but I thought, why not make your own? So I went online to see how it was made, and it's water, sugar, and then I think 6 lemons squeezed.
Nice.
And 6 limes, because the limes are smaller. So it's like 2 to 1. And put it in, shook it up, put it in the fridge, and we'll see. And safe journeys driving home.
Is this, in fact, an experiment? Or is this, would I find this in a cocktail book?
No, it's my own concoction.
Of
No,
course it is.
no.
Of course.
No,
All right.
if you
Silly
want to
me.
experiment with music, you know, you can't copy everyone else, can you?
John, I love it.
So here we go, 1 spoon.
Love this colour.
The colour's great, isn't it?
Isn't it wonderful? Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Brilliant.
Cheers. Cheers. Oh, I like it.
I like it. Did you ever have a oh, I can't speak now. 1 sip, I can't speak. Did you ever have a,
Moody Blue out.
did you ever have a vineyard? Or am I imagining this?
No, I haven't got a vineyard, but I do have my own wine company called Chrisima. And I have a red wine out of Napa Valley. I have a red wine out of Bordeaux. And I have a white wine out of South Africa. And the red wine from Bordeaux, we managed to get a bronze medal for in the International Wine Conference. And the white wine, the Chardonnay from South Africa, we managed to get the gold.
Oh,
award.
John.
Yeah.
How fabulous.
And it's called Chrisima. And Emily, our daughter, my daughter, she runs it. And we sell it mainly on tour or through the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well
it's
done
fun.
you. How lovely.
It's great travelling around and going to different areas. Say, Napa Valley is beautiful. I remember going there in the 60s and thinking, this is where I want to live eventually. Never did, but I always thought it was such a fantastic place. And Bordeaux for red wines is
Yes.
just amazing. If you've never experienced going to a real vineyard, you should do it.
I've done it. I've been to Napa.
Napa is
It's so
really.
beautiful.
I go up there because I play golf as well. So Johnny Miller is a friend of mine, and he owns the Silverado Golf Club in Napa. Yeah, it's fabulous.
Oh, lovely. So now, I think you've told me in the past, John, I know that you play golf a lot. And is it really true that you can organise your tours of America around golf clubs?
Well, we used to. We used to, actually. It was fantastic. Our manager was a wonderful guy called Tom Hewlett and Jerry Weintraub, actually. But Tom and I, we used to say, we play Washington, we can play the Congressional Golf Club. If we play Vegas, we can play. And we used to. Yeah. And I was reminiscing the other day, we played the arena, the Spectrum in Philadelphia, which is a big, big arena. And because of Jerry Weintraub and Elvis and the casinos connection, we had sort of automatic suite hotels in Atlantic City.
Right.
So we came on stage one night and Tom said, "We're in Baltimore tomorrow." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Look, we've got the limo downstairs after the concert. We're going to drive straight to Atlantic City. We'll have breakfast there early, go into the casino, 7 o'clock, have breakfast again, and we teeing off at 7:30. And I said, "But what about Baltimore?" He said, "Oh, we've got a plane coming at 12 o'clock to fly us to Baltimore." So it was madness like that, you know.
Tell me, John, because you're a songwriter, aren't you? And I mean, to have come out of school, although, you know, you had really nice education there, and then to come across music and to see what instrument you would really love, you felt a sort of fondness towards. And then how did you learn how to write music?
I honestly don't know. I can be really flippant and say I can never remember the lyrics of other people's songs.
Yeah.
And I found when I write my own songs, I could remember them. So that's a flippant attitude, excuse, I suppose. But I wanted to explore music without having a formal education.
Okay.
And I wanted to find out what notes go with what notes, what chords go with what chords. And I think when you spend hours finding out how something works, things start to coagulate, I think, in your mind.
Yeah.
And you say, "Oh, that goes with that, that goes with that." Right. And then we were all at the time copying American songs, particularly the blues or blues rock and roll. And when you investigate what they're singing about their lives, or the people they knew, their lives, the people they knew. You know, got up this morning, went out to work, whatever. And I think I and the rest of the band, we realised it's about growing up. And why not equate growing up lyrically with your own life? About school, what you learned, what you didn't learn, what you take forward, what you don't take forward. And I think that's where I started to come from. I love reading, and I think when you read, not just fiction, I mean everything.
Yes.
You're exploring all the while. You're expanding your mind, I think.
Yes, it is.
And I wanted to do that with my songwriting. I wanted to explore, see what boundaries I can actually go past. You know, there's a horizon out there, isn't? We all see a horizon. If we stop at the horizon, we don't know what's the other side.
Yes.
and I've always tried to find out right about what's the
Yes,
other
quite
side.
right.
That way you can get a couple of meanings into a song, you know. You can, on the surface, it may be a straightforward song, but when you look at it in depth, you think, oh, that relates to something else really. And you can progress, perhaps, you know, a Columbus moment, keep going past the horizon. And I think that was what I was trying
It's
to do.
adventurous. It's
Yeah.
adventurous.
Yeah, adventure.
Yeah.
But also, there's other part of songwriting which I've been really fortunate about, because I can write songs for Kirsten. When my daughter was born, I wrote a song for her on an album called Emily's Song. And when my son was born, I wrote a song for him called Carry Me on an album. And when my grandson was born, I wrote a song for him called Simply Magic. Just when I thought nothing could get any better than this, you came along like a word in a song, and a word I thought I'd never get. So it's
Divine.
so
Fabulous. Has anything that you've written not gone down so well in front of an audience as it does in a studio? Is there a difference, John,
there is
do you
a
think?
difference. Now with modern technology, you can take on a lot more songs that you couldn't have performed years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, in the 60s and 70s, we had like 100,000 watts of PA and probably 50,000 watts of amplifiers on stage. And so it was loudness coming from one place. So subtly trying to have an acoustic guitar playing in those days was really difficult.
Right.
But nowadays you can. I do one song on stage called One More Time to Live, and I know when we released the album we did a tour with it, but that was like, I don't think I've performed that song since like 1983.
Oh my gosh.
But now with modern technology, I can, make it work.
Right.
Because I have a cello in my band.
Oh, lovely.
And the cello is really loud. Really loud. It's as loud as an electric guitar. And that's why I want that cello to become part of the rhythm section and also the lead section. And you couldn't do that 20 years. You couldn't do that 10 years ago. But you can now.
Interesting.
Yes.
How
really,
fabulous.
Yeah.
The progress of everything.
yes.
How lovely.
Yes.
How lovely.
Yeah.
I hear you were inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Is it this year or last year?
No, I'd have to look at the poster actually. But when people said, you know, you're going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, it was like, okay, yeah, thank you. And I really didn't think that much about it, to be honest. Not that I neglected it, but it's an American thing.
Yeah.
I know it's really massive
Yeah.
in America. And it really hit me on the day of the induction. There we were, sitting there with thousands of people come to see who'd been inducted. And we were, the Moody Blues were one of those. And the organizer came up to me and said, John, can we read your script, your acceptance speech? And I said, well, to be honest, I don't ever write one because it's how I feel there and then.
Yes.
Whatever I do, it's how I feel. I said, you will be okay. There will be nothing you want to delete, I assure you. And I hadn't thought about what I was going to say at all. And the next minute, really, I'm on stage, you know, accepting the award. And I'm looking at all these people and thinking about all the people around the world who've voted for us to be in, and in a way it was really humiliating and exciting at the same time, things.
Yeah.
I thought, how can all these people vote for us and all the people around the world? And I remember saying in the speech, it's not us who are going into the Hall of Fame. It's for you guys as well. Thank you very much. And I really meant that. And while I was standing on stage, my absolute number one influence was Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
One year we did all the 5 concerts Buddy Holly did. We just decided to do that route.
Oh, did you?
And we ended up, I ended up with Justin. At midnight, we got the graveyard opened up. And we went to see Buddy Holly's grave. And I thought, I must leave something, And I had to pick plectrum. And so I put the plectrum down on the grave, Buddy Holly's grave.
Oh, did you?
And when I did that, it is absolutely true. A cricket came and landed on the gravestone.
Stop it! Stop it, John.
It is.
I can't bear that.
Yeah. It's
A
cricket.
cricket?
Yeah. I could.
From
it's
his band, the crickets?
There's probably a billion crickets
my
there. But
gosh.
it was just that moment. And
love that.
anyway, so
makes
going
me
back
shiver.
going back to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I remember standing there, thinking, I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with Buddy Holly. How cool is that? This guy, this kid from Birmingham Council House, is standing next door in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to Buddy Holly, and I thought, my grandson, who was in the audience watching, I thought, when he's grown up, married, whatever, and he's standing with children through the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he's going to say, that's my granddad.
Yes.
And I thought, well, that's cool, that'll do. And
lovely.
that put a smile on my face, even today when I think about it. That's cool.
Lovely.
And it was fantastic that these people took their time out to vote for us, It meant,
your music means a lot to so many people.
It was fantastic,
I can't thank you enough, John.
My pleasure. We've been saying we'll do this for ages.
know, we
and
have.
we've done it. I hope you both enjoyed the Moody Blue Martini.
Thank you for this, John.
Well, cheers.
Cheers, darling. Right, well, that was absolutely lovely, and I thank John Lodge very, very much. He was utterly adorable, and I think we did a really nice podcast. I can't say the same about the drink, however. It was very blue, and I wasn't sure whether it was... I wasn't sure really what it was. But anyway, John seemed to love it.
You know what? I really liked it as well, and I've been trying to recreate it. But listening back to that episode, I realised I've been missing the sour ingredient.
The lime and lemon?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I've been going wrong.
Okay.
So I'm going to try that again and
All right.
hope I get onto a winner. But hey, thank you so much for listening to the episode, or if you have been watching on YouTube, thank you so much. It means a lot that so many people have been engaging with the podcast, and so many people have been enjoying it. We've still got plenty of episodes to come, so please do subscribe, leave a like, a comment, all that good stuff. And if you want to find out about previous episodes, you can find them at pattiespodcast.co.uk, and for everything else you can go to pattieboyd.com, and we will be back in a couple of weeks. But before we go, Pattie, you brought your book in, didn't you? So if you're watching on YouTube, this is a little bit of a sneak peek of the book.
See, here's the cover. It's really nice, taken many, many years ago. And it's fine. It seems to have transcended years. And it's lovely paper, lovely, lovely, lovely. and I think everybody would enjoy it.
Yes. Can we see maybe like the first page? Something
Yeah.
like that. Or something.
Let's see. Ah, look. Here are quite a lot of photographs.
Wow, yeah.
So this is quite nice. Taken from a scrapbook. It's a sort of scrapbook effect.
Yeah.
Fun. And it just goes on, and lovely photos. Some sort of quite gorgeous.
Amazing.
Anyway, it's really worth getting because even I really like it.
Brilliant.
There's one here of Taylor Swift and me, which is quite fun.
Amazing. Very cool. Taylor Swift, if you're watching, we'd love to get you on the podcast.
If you have a moment.
Yes.
My God, that girl is so busy.
Yeah, absolutely. She's got a new album coming out.
I know. I can't wait to get that.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want to get your hands on the book, go to pattieboyd.co.uk and there'll be a link there to buy it. But for now, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Have a good time. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.